Up next is the App of the Week segment. This is a segment dedicated to app demonstrations. Should you have an app that you would like to demonstrate for our listeners, feel free to send us the recording of such an app demo to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your App of the Week.
Coming up next, we have the app of the week, and Warren will be demonstrating an app called Readify, which you'll find out what it does, but I think you can have a pretty good guess.
We continue now with our App of the Week series, and for episode 260, App of the Week, this is demonstrating Readify, Readify. The first time that I saw this app, the first person that came to my mind is Karine, because both Karine and I like reading books, and most especially those ebook reading apps that have those natural voices. And most importantly, this one also exposes text to the screen reader. Therefore, Karine girl, if you're listening to this, you better grab it. I'm now on the play page of Readify and will navigate to the About, so we hear the description and then come back and tap on the Open because I already installed it. I'll now navigate my way to the About.
About this app heading. Google Play Store. Readify AI text-to-speech details. Turn any ebook into a natural AI audiobook. Read aloud with human-like voices. Transform any ebook into a natural AI audiobook with Readify. Readify is an advanced AI text-to-speech TTS reader that turns ebooks, PDFs, articles, and documents into human-like narration. Powered by large language model technology, Readify delivers smooth and expressive voices that make reading and listening easier, more accessible, and more enjoyable. Why Readify stands apart. 1. Natural AI narration. Readify provides highly natural and human-like AI voices. With 100+ voices across 40+ languages, you can personalize your listening experience with clear, warm, and expressive narration. Say goodbye to robotic TTS and enjoy voices that feel close to real audiobook narrators. 2. Read any format aloud. Readify supports all major ebook and document formats, including PDF, EPUB, TXT, MOBI, and AZW. Upload your files and listen immediately with natural AI text-to-speech. 3. Sync across devices. Start reading on your phone and continue listening on your computer. Readify syncs perfectly across mobile app, web reader, and Chrome extension, making your reading progress consistent across all platforms. 4. Smart PDF handling. Complex PDFs are automatically converted into clean, readable EPUBs with smart layout recognition. This makes textbooks, reports, and research papers easier to read and listen to. 5. Listen to articles in online text. With the Readify browser extension, you can listen to articles, documents, and web content on any website. Turn long-form online reading into a smooth audiobook-style experience. 6. AI book search. If you are unsure what to read next, simply enter your mood, interests, or book type into the search bar. Readify will recommend a wide selection of books that match your preferences. 7. AI Q&A. Readify includes an AI question and answer feature that helps you understand your books while reading or listening. Ask questions at any time and receive explanations, clarifications, and insights. The AI companion makes reading more interactive and engaging. Perfect for every reader. Readify is ideal for ebook readers who want natural text-to-speech, students learning from textbooks and PDFs, professionals listening during commutes, multitaskers who prefer hands-free reading, language learners improving comprehension, readers with eye strain or reading difficulties. 40+ languages and 100+ voices. Choose from a wide range of accents, tones, and languages, making Readify suitable for global users and multilingual reading. Start transforming your reading. Turn any ebook, PDF, or online article into a natural AI audiobook. Read anywhere, listen easily, and enjoy a more immersive way to experience your books. Download Readify today and discover a better way to read. App Info. Version 1.9.2. Updated on November 25, 2025. Downloads 5,000+ downloads. Required OS Android 6.0 and up. Offered by AI Art Magic Avatar Studio. Released on April 8, 2025.
And that's both the description and the history of the app. I'll now go back to the installation page and tap on that Open.
Play Store. About this app heading.
Now let's tap on Open.
Button open. Readify. Your all-in-one reading hub out of list.
We're now on the introduction of the app, and what I'm going to do is put my finger down, then triple tap with 2 fingers to let it read what is on this page.
Your all-in-one reading hub. Knowledge within reach. Read or listen. Multi-format support. Read TXT ideographic, PDF ideographic, EPUB ideographic, MOBI ideographic, AZW ideographic, docs instantly. Smart audiobooks. Multi-language narration and 0.5x 3.0x speed. Start now button.
And that's the introduction. At the bottom of the screen, of course, we have the Start Now button. I'll tap on that.
Start now button. Readify. Is there a life philosophy that makes you feel enlightened? Row 1 in grid, 3 rows, 3 columns.
We're now in the main UI of the app, and the first thing we heard was something regarding philosophy. In other words, this is more like a slideshow that now and then would pop up something letting you know categories or genres you may be interested in. Naturally, there are no buttons or controls there at the top left, but to the top right we have one, and I do want to mention here in passing while we're here that some of the buttons or controls do not have the proper labeling. However, TalkBack is doing the heavy lifting, and besides, these things can be labelable if there's such a word. In other words, you can use your TalkBack menu to label something that doesn't make sense to you. Label it to whatever it is that makes sense to you. So starting on the top right corner, here's what we got.
Avatar Sieve image out of grid.
And I'm going to tap on that one.
Detected icon, person, image, a simple, minimalist profile icon featuring a white silhouette.
And on the top left corner,
Unlabeled.
we hear unlabeled, but that's the back button. And if you leave your screen reader long
Detected
enough,
icon, left, image, a simple black left pointing
it
arrow.
tells you what it is. And then moving on down,
Avatar Sieve image.
we have the little icon, and then below
Detected,
that,
not signed in.
we have not signed in.
Reading notes.
Next,
Share Readify.
next,
Feedback.
next,
About.
next,
Web app.
next.
Open URL in desktop browser, cross-device sync.
And below that, the URL.
https://app.readify.com/library.
And
Sign in button.
we got a sign in button there at the bottom of the screen. If we tap here, for example,
Readify. Unlabeled.
we hear that unlabeled button again, which
Detected.
is the back button. Now moving on down,
Sign in with Google button.
that's all we have is a sign in with Google. So if you tap on here, you would be signing in with your Google account. I'm going to go back a couple times,
Readify. Sign in button.
and I'm going to go back again.
Readify. Avatar Sieve image.
So we're back to the main UI of the app, and
Detected
then
icon.
below that, we got some samples of books, a couple samples. That is, we got The Pride and Prejudice, we got Alice in Wonderland, and we also have
Media
notes
control.
from,
Welcome to Readify. Welcome to Readify. Row 3, column 1.
that's notes from the developer. Then we got,
Pride and Prejudice, column 2.
and
Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, column 3.
and then at the bottom right corner, we have the import.
Import books IV image out of grid.
There we go.
Detected
like I said,
icon.
It's not well labeled, but you can label this. I'll show you what I'm talking about by tapping with 3 fingers to open up TalkBack menu.
Talkback menu. Add label in list.
There's an add label, so I could label it to whatever it is that I want. And I'm going to go back.
Detected icon.
Now I'm going to tap on one of the books.
Pride and Prejudice, row 3, column 2, in grid,
And
3
I'll
rows,
tab.
3. Readify. Cover. Web
And
view, in pager.
we heard the cover. Now that we have opened the book or tapped on one of the books, on the top left we got,
IMG back image.
that's the back, and then to the right of that,
IV category image.
we have something called categories. If you tap on this one though, it will take you to where you could choose like the
Detected
chapter.
icon.
In other words, it has things like the table of contents or whatever the case may be if the book has table of contents. And then to the right of that, we have settings.
IV setting image.
And then the top right icon there on the top right corner, It's one of those that
Detected
does not
image.
speak. But if you have your sounds on, you will hear it make a sound. I do not have sounds, but that's more like the more options. I'm going to move my finger on there and leave it there for a little while, and you will hear TalkBack doing the heavy lifting, saying this is like the settings, or rather like the more options. Again, you can label this, add your labels to it. I've written to the guy, and we'll see what will happen. But now move my finger, though, to the right and see what we hear.
Detected image, a stylized abstract image featuring 3 black dots arranged vertically with a larger pink dot positioned to the right of.
And that would be, like the more options. And now, before we come back to any of these, let's go down though toward the bottom. And in the midsection toward the bottom, we got
0% seat bar slider.
that's the progress of the book. And then to the left of that,
IV chapter pre-image.
so we have previous chapter, and of course you got that.
0% seat
And
bar
then to
slider.
the right of that
IV chapter next image.
is the next button. Now below that we have some buttons.
Detected icon right image.
Starting from the very bottom left, we have the voice selection button. This one, just like the more options on the top, does not speak its name, but if you leave your finger there for a while, TalkBack will do the heavy lifting, giving you the description of that image. I'll put my finger down so you hear what I'm talking about. I just touched it, and now I'm going to wait till we hear the description of that
Detected
icon.
image. A young man with light brown hair and blue eyes looks directly at the camera in a close-up portrait. He has a neutral expression and is wearing a light blue shirt.
In other words, that's the current voice selection. If
Media
you tap
control.
here, it will take you to the different voices from which to make a selection. We'll come back to that, but let's go ahead and look at the other buttons here to the right of this voice selection. Again, remember, you can label this. For example, you just bring up the TalkBack menu and tap on that add label and label it to voice selection or voices or whatever name it is that you want to give it. Now, moving to the right, we got
IVTTS previous image.
we have the TTS previous. So
Detected
in other words,
image.
it seems to me like you can go to the previous, or could it be that if you've selected more than one TTS engines, you could go to the previous TTS? This is pure conjecture on my part. Going to the right, we got,
IV play pause image.
and to the right of that,
IVTTS next image.
that's the same idea going to the next. And then to the right,
1.0x.
this is where you go in to change the speech rate. If you want it faster, you could tap here to go change that. Let's go back though to the top and start looking at the category and then look at the other one.
IV category image.
And tapping.
Readify on top, contents on bottom. Pride and Prejudice 3 of 3 in list 3
So
items.
we got Pride and Prejudice. If I tap here,
Readify. IV 59% seat bar.
it opens the book. But if I tap on
Media
that category
control.
again,
IV category image out of pager. Readify on top, content. Volume. A novel. In 3 volumes. Chapter I 8 of 27.
it's chapter 1.
Chapter 3 10 of 27.
Let's scroll down and tap on
Chapter
something
X 16 of 27.
random.
Showing. Readify.
There we go.
Chapter X, heading 2.
So I think that's chapter 9, Roman numerals. And now, before we tap on the play, let's look at the next icon that is to the right of the category.
IV setting image out of pager.
That's the settings. Tap here.
Readify on top, font size on bottom.
Here, though, this one has to do with fonts and color. So if you have usable site, you could go in here and choose a type of colors and all of that. And the font sizes, that's what this one is all about. Now I'm going to go back. And
Readify.
now let's tap on the one that doesn't speak, which is like the
IV
more
setting
options
image.
there on the top right corner.
Pop-up window. Notes.
Tapping on that, we got a couple items. We got notes. So if you tap here, if you have taken any notes, this is where you're going to see your notes. And below that, we got
Timer.
timer. In other words, if you're feeling sleepy and you want to put it on a timer so it goes off, you tap here. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Timer.
And we got
Timer. Off switch.
is
Media
off.
control.
So if you turn it on, then you have
10 min. 20 min. 30 min. 60 min.
you got the drift. Now go back.
Readify.
Those are the buttons there on the top. Now let's going down toward the bottom. We got those buttons that I've talked about earlier, and we have the play
IV
button.
play pause image.
And basically, if you tap on that, it's going to play.
Allow Readify to send you notifications. Allow button.
And it's asking me if I want to allow it to send me notifications. I'm notorious for not
His
wanting
daughter's
notifications,
request for such it might be
but I'll
considered
let it
of
on.
being admitted into her family again
Readify.
before she set off for the north, received
The
at
Project
first an
Gutenberg
absolute
ebook.
negative.
Now I'm going to double tap. I just double tap to stop the reading. Now, I do want to mention here in passing, though, that when you stop reading, the controls are hidden. And if you want the controls to be back again, you just double tap with one finger and they'll pop up again at the bottom. And also those buttons at the top, like the category settings and the more options, will also pop up. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the voices, though, the voice selection that I mentioned earlier there at the bottom left corner. Now that we have the controls showing, I'll put my finger there at the bottom left and tap on that one that doesn't speak, which is the voice selection.
Out of pager.
I'm on a page now with the
Detected
voices.
image.
And we got
IV close image.
close, moving on down.
Pro.
We got the Pro, so by default is in the Pro mode, and so the voices that you see below here will be the Pro voices. And to the right of that Pro button, we got
Basic.
Basic, and to the right of that
IV reset image.
is the Reset. Now moving on down,
English 2 of 22 in list 22
we got
items.
English, and below that we have some English voices. And here are some of the voices that we have. I'm going to sample a few of them. Whenever you tap on a voice, it has a check mark. So for example,
George U.S. male 3 of 22.
that by default visually
Media
has
control.
the check mark. And I do want to apologize. Someone playing something downstairs on the TV. And so now and then you hear media control or something there in my notifications. I should have turned that off before I get started. But here we are. So here, this one has a check mark. So if I tap on it on George,
Hi, I'm George. Welcome to Readify.
I really like that. Next,
Lawrence Peterson, U.S. male 4 of.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Peterson.
Peterson,
Welcome
US.
to Readify.
next.
Willie Watson,
Hi, I'm Willie Watson. Welcome to Readify.
Next.
Gloria Sanders, U.S.
Hi, I'm Gloria Sanders. Welcome to Readify.
I think John may like that one. Let's scroll down at random, find some
Lindy,
other voices that are
Showing items
different.
11. Lucy, U.S. female 13 of 22.
Hi,
Lucy.
I'm Lucy. Welcome to Readify.
Let's scroll down
Tina,
some more.
U.S. Antonio, GB male 16 of 22.
Here's some UK voices.
Hi, I'm Antonio. Welcome to Readify.
Okay. Next, let's look at another UK voice.
Shelley, GB female 17 of 22.
Hi, I'm
Shell-
Shelley. Welcome to Readify.
Next, let's try another UK
Amelia,
voice.
GB female 18 of 22.
Hi,
Amelia,
I'm
G-
Amelia. Welcome to
Next.
Readify.
Emma, GB female.
Hi,
Emma,
I'm
GB
Emma.
female.
Welcome to Readify.
Okay, I'm just going to scroll down, tap on one more time.
Jacob, GB male 22.
I think that's the last one.
Hi,
Jake-
I'm Jacob. Welcome to Readify.
Not bad. And as I indicated earlier, though, whichever one you tap on, the check mark moves to it, that becomes your default voice. I'm going to scroll back to the top
Gloria Sanders,
and
U-
tap on George because
Showing
that's
items
the
2 to
one I
6 of
wanted.
22. George, U.S. male.
Hi, I'm George. Welcome to Readify.
Ah, beautiful. There we have it. And those are the pro voices. Now let's look at the basic.
Basic.
So if I tap here, the focus now moves to the basic TTS. In other words, these are more or less like the Google voices. So you got those that are locally on your phone and those that are online voices. I'm not going to play these ones, but I'm just going to go through some of them so you understand what's going on.
NGBX, GBA Local English, United Kingdom, GB.
Okay.
NGBX, GBB Network English, United Kingdom, NO Language English Australia, 05 of NSX TPF Local English, United States, US, 6 of NNXN Network English India in 7 of 54. NOXAUA Network English Australia 08 of 54.
You got the drift, so you could just go down and choose the ones that you want. Now I'm going to go back.
Readify. Welcome to Readify 100.
So now we're back to the menu eye where those sample books are. Now the next thing I want to tap on will be that import there toward the bottom. But before we go to that
Media
import,
control.
I do want to mention here that we still have at the very bottom across the screen above that playback controls, we have a strip there with the previous chapter on the left edge, and then to the right edge of the phone, we do have that next chapter. And above that next chapter is an icon that says conversation. In other words, you could tap on that to converse or ask questions about the book. For example, if I move my finger up,
IVI conversation image.
and if I tap here,
Enter your question. Readify on top, enter your question on bottom. Editing, enter your question, edit button.
so I could ask questions about this book. For example, I'm going to tap on the voice input.
Use voice.
How many chapters does this book have?
Voice typing stopped. Use voice typing.
And to the right of that edit field is the send button.
IV send image window, enter your editing, enter your question, edit box. Showing items. Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen contains 61 chapters, 4 of 5, in list 5 items.
And now I'm going to go back.
Keyboard.
And I'm back
Readify.
again.
IVI
And I'm going to
conversation.
go back to close out of this book.
Readify. 76%. Pride and Prejudice, row 3, column 1, in grid 3 rows.
Now let's go ahead though and look at the importation, and that's the button toward the bottom right.
Import books IV image out of grid.
And tapping on that.
Detected icon, add, image, a black circle with a white plus. Supports TXT, PDF, EPUB, MOBI, AZW, Docs.
And we got
Find books.
find books. So if I tap here, for example, it will take me to a page where I could look for categories or whatever book I'm looking for, and it'll search online to give me the book that I'm looking for. I'm tapping here to show you what I'm talking about.
Readify on top, about the service on bottom. Close IV image.
And we hear this dialogue.
This service aggregates publicly available book data only. We do not store, distribute copyrighted content. All transactions are between you and sellers. Please verify copyright status, device compatibility, especially DRM and seller credentials. Readin is not involved in transactions and assumes no liability. Comply with local laws.
And toward the bottom, we got,
Don't show again.
and then to the right of that,
Confirm button.
and you tap on confirm.
Search by title, author, or description. Showing Gboard.
And now you could search for the books you are looking for. For example, if I say I'm looking for something on disability. Books on disability.
Voice typing stopped. Use voice typing. Search by title, author, or description. Editing, books on disability, edit box.
And now I'm going to tap on search.
Search BTN. Stop search BTN image.
And it's fetching my results. And I'm waiting
Detected
for results
icon.
to come
Stop
on.
image. A black.
There we go. Now if I put my finger down,
Looking to dive deep into the world of disability with books that combine heartfelt stories,
go down.
advocacy. The body is not an apology. The power of radical self-love. No pity. People with disabilities forging a new civil rights movement. No pity. People with disabilities.
I'm just going to scroll down, look at some more.
Extraordinary acts. Stories of ordinary people changing the world. Extraordinary acts.
Scroll down.
Disability rights and wrongs. Disability rights and wrongs. Nothing about us without us. Disability oppression and empowerment. Nothing about.
You got the drift. And so basically I just search for a category and it's showing me those books from that category. Now if you tap here, it will take you to the store that it's coming from, and you can either buy it or whatever the case may be. I'm going to go back.
Search by title, author. Readify. Import.
Now I'm going to tap on import again.
Readify on top. Import.
And then we got the next one after the search for books.
Import from files.
We got import from files, and the last item.
Import from computer.
you could import from your computer because it syncs across your devices if you enable that. And that would be all that we have in the importation
Readify.
settings. And that would conclude this short demonstration of the Readify, Readify. As always, though, we want to thank you for listening to us. But if you like what we're doing, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for that, Warren.
Thank you so much. Readify is an app that I like. So let's talk about Readify. Karen, I mentioned you in there because whenever I get a reading app, for example, the person that comes to my mind is that pretty girl there, Karen, and she and I, we really enjoy these type of apps. But I want to hear what Karen's thoughts are regarding Readify, whether it's throw it to the curb or it's a keeper, whatever the case is. One thing I realized that I didn't notice where one makes payment or, whatever subscription, how it is. I didn't see that unless, of course, I haven't played with it much besides just demonstrating it for that demo. I haven't done anything with it.
So, you know me very well. And of course, when I listened to your demo, I went ahead and installed the app. However, okay, I will admit it, I didn't play a lot with the app, but I have some issues. First one, when I imported a file, it was a TXT file, and I was trying to read through the screen reader. It didn't read the whole text content. This is the first thing. There was no way to do it. Actually, I tried to scroll by swiping with 2 fingers. I tried to swipe, the normal swipe, to move between items. Actually, it was reading a bit of the text and then it stopped. So I don't know what's the thing. Actually, I didn't give it enough time, to be honest, but this was the first problem. The second thing is related to the voices. Well, the voices are multilingual, which is good. You just, for example, you find the English voices, but the English voice will be able to read other languages as well. So I tried with my native language, Arabic, and when I changed the English voice, the Arabic voice was changed as well. However, I didn't like how it reads Arabic at all. I won't say it's terrible, but it's kind of bad. So
You didn't know how to speak Arabic too well, right?
Yeah, it didn't. And I tried to use the accent, like not the traditional accent that we use for Arabic books, which is not something good to do usually, because like using a local accent instead of using the traditional accent when the text is traditional Arabic isn't something that you usually do. Other than that, I hate the fact that there are so many unlabeled buttons, something that you already mentioned in your demonstration. I think you said that you're going to contact the developer. So I don't know.
I actually
if you did or not.
contacted him already. I did. I contacted him because those things, it's a shame. And I indicated that you are here in California, unless, of course, you're forging your address. That's exactly what I said. If you're here in California and you are giving us an app with labels that are not, properly contextually labeled and all of that, you need to fix that. So I kind of went out a little bit hard on the guy, and I hope he's not offended. He fixes it. But, I expect people in countries that know or have an understanding of what the needs are to kind of just, do the right thing. And most especially, you're living in California. Come on, man. So, but I wrote to him about that. But so when it comes to scrolling the stuff, if you want to be reading with your screen reader, were you scrolling left to right? Because that's how it scrolls. It's not vertical.
No, I think I only tried scrolling upwards.
No, it doesn't do it that way. It's like Amazon. You scroll horizontal, so you go left to right. I mean, so you scroll right if you want to go to the next page, that kind of thing. That's how it's
I should
called.
have tried it, but since it's already a TXT file, I expected that it would be using the scrolling upward and downward thing, not scrolling left and right.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but yeah, that's how it scrolls. But I think though there's the scrolling in there. I didn't check on that to see if you could reprogram it or recustomize it to do a vertical scroll. I didn't bother, yeah, because it's part of that one that has like the fonts for sighted people or people who have the usable sight could take advantage of that and change the fonts and all of that. So the scrolling, the page scrolling and all of that, that's in there as well. So I'm thinking that one could change it if you like that vertical scroll. I'm not sure.
It could be
I'll
like
have to look at it.
playbooks. Playbooks by default has the page switching through scrolling left and right, but you can make it by swiping up, scrolling up and down. So it could be like Google Books or the playbooks.
You're right. And it's there in that settings. When you tap on that settings toward the bottom there, that's where you could make those adjustments. I didn't do that. So I think I like the left and right scrolling, but I think it makes sense to have that up and down scrolling. For example, if you're using something, say your Braille display, for example, I think that the vertical scroll is probably the better one to use.
I prefer the ability to auto scroll as well. So if you're using a Braille display, this would be better because you don't need to do anything on your phone. You just keep reading and it keeps like moving you to the next page. Well, one thing regarding this one, actually, if you compare the voices to what 11 Labs offers, for example, you can't compare them at all. Okay, they are not bad. I mean, for English, maybe they're not bad, but 11 Labs has much better voices. Okay, you can't read using TalkBack or Jishua when you're using 11 Labs, but the voices that you get there are much better. However, one thing that we should maybe show appreciation for is that at least during my test, I couldn't see anything related to subscription, and I don't know if there are advertisements. I don't think that I came across any ad, at least throughout my quick test. So for this reason, we could say that, yeah, there's something good in this app, which is it's free. And it doesn't have advertisement. I assume that it doesn't have.
I didn't see any ad either, Karen, and I was kind of surprised because I was expecting to see some ads. However, in my short time that I had with it, playing with it and demonstrating it, I didn't see any ads there. So that's a plus there. I hope that's how it stays. But as I indicated earlier, I didn't even see where to say to subscribe or whatever. You have those pro voices, then you have that basically using the Google TTS engine if you prefer that. But I didn't see anywhere to subscribe. So maybe if one uses it for quite a while, and then maybe it'll pop up, say, hey, you need to subscribe or whatever. But I'll have to do that. I intend on listening to a long book with it and see what happens. But so far, I haven't seen where to subscribe, and I haven't seen an ad in there at all. If there's anything you want to call an ad, maybe the suggestions above that talks about maybe you want to look into this category or whatever, but that's not an ad. It's the suggestion from the app. If you kind of like not knowing what to look for reading, because you could look for things there to read, as I indicated in that demo. Other than that, there's no ad in there to speak of.